This video presentation is brought to you by the Pro Mathematics Academy. Welcome back to another video presentation brought to you in part by the Pro Mathematics Academy. In this video, we'll be looking at coordinate geometry, right? And when we talk about coordinate geometry, we're basically talking about points in the Cartesian plane. What is the Cartesian plane, you might wonder? So whenever we have our y-axis, right, intersecting our x-axis, this space is referred to as our Cartesian plane, all right? And notice that because this intersection creates 4 different rectangular spaces, we call each of these rectangular space a quadrant. So here I have quadrant 1, here we have quadrant number 2, here is quadrant number 3, and over here, this one is mislabeled. Let's fix that one. This one should be quadrant number 4. Okay, nice. So the first thing we want to recognize here is that every point in the Cartesian plane may be described by a tuple, right? And you're wondering, what is a tuple? A tuple is a pair of values. So here we have x and y, x comma y, right? Where x is called the abscissa and y is called the ordinate, okay? X is called the abscissa and y is called the ordinate. So each point in the Cartesian plane may be represented by that. And today's episode, we'll be looking at these points that I've highlighted, right? So let's see if we can identify them. So I'll start by trying to identify this point. This point is actually 10, 2. All right. Why is it 10, 2? Simply because we must first look for our x value. All right. So here our x value is 10 and our y value is 2. So we look for the value that corresponds to this point on the y-axis and the value that corresponds to this point on the x-axis, and we combine them by writing the x point first and then the y value. All right. So let's erase that. We have 1 down. We have so many more to go. So this one is going to be 3, 4. This one is going to be 1, 5. All right. Let's jump over to this side of the equation. Well, this side of our Cartesian plane. Right now we have -1, 8. Right. This point here is going to be what? Remember, it's always our x value first. Okay, so let's go along the x-axis. We see that we're at -7. Right? If we go along the y-axis, we see that we're at 2. So therefore, this point must be -7, 2. Right? The next point we move to, right? Let's see. -12, -4. Here I've put in 2 arrows to help us identify with the x value and the y value. So we can stay at the point and move downwards back to the x-axis or move across back to the y-axis. So here we see that we correspond to -12 and 4. Right? So therefore, this point must be -12, 4. Right? Still have many more points to go. So let's jump into our third quadrant, right? And now we have this point right here. Let's see if we can identify this one. This one seems to be -3, -3. Wow, well. Right, and let's see if we can do this one. So this one seems to be -11, -5. Okay, and one important thing that we're to learn here is that we have to know how to identify points in the Cartesian plane. Okay, if we don't know how to do that, then coordinate geometry is going to be very difficult. All right, so this one is going to be -4, -7, right? And then we jump over to our fourth quadrant, right? Where we have 9, -2, 6, -6, and 13, -4. All right. And that's really it for identifying points in the Cartesian plane. That is it for this video. Please remember to hit the notification bell, like, share, and subscribe for future post notification.